In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we send peace and blessings upon the seal of the prophets, the seal of the messengers, Muhammad the son of Abdullah, his family, his companions, and all those who call to his way to the day of judgment. And we begin with the greeting words of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This month of Ramadan is a blessed time. And it is a time where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed great messages, where the power of the Quran itself manifested to humanity. This is also a time of clear evidence, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the oft-repeated verses has told us, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. That the month of Ramadan is the time in which the Quran was revealed as a guidance to humanity and clear evidence from the guidance and from Al-Furqan, that which separates truth from falsehood. So the month of Ramadan is a time of tanzil. It is a time of revelation. It is a time of huda, a time of guidance. It is a time of Al-Furqan. It is a time of al-bayyinat, that which separates truth from falsehood, that which brings us clear evidence that we can make the choices in life. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught this to his companions. He lived the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and through his prophetic example, we see clear evidence of truth being separated from falsehood. Through his prophetic example, we are able to see Al-Furqan. And in the second year after the Hijrah, word came to Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam that Abu Sufyan had taken the wealth of the believers, that which was left in Mecca, gathered it together, and sent a caravan towards Syria. So the Prophet ﷺ took counsel with his followers and put together approximately 314 of the believers, and they went in the direction of Abu Sufyan. But Abu Sufyan, being a cunning leader of Mecca, was able to escape using the coastline, and he reached Syria. On his way back, in returning from Syria, an opportunity arose for the believers to take back their wealth. So it is crucial to understand that the movement against the caravan of Abu Sufyan was not an attack. It was not an imperialistic charge of forces, but it was people who were under the law of God from those who had stolen it from them. But Abu Sufyan, rahimahullah, who eventually accepted Islam, Abu Sufyan was a cunning leader. And at that time, he used his cunning ability in order to fight against the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is reported that Abu Sufyan, on recognizing the presence of Muslims, sent a message to Mecca, and the Meccans put together a force of almost 100 warriors with over 300 horses, with armored plates, and with all the weaponry and formations of the best that the Arabs could possess, and sent it to battle. They sent their forces north, and they took camp, or they landed somewhere around a place called Badr. The Prophet ﷺ and his companions moved toward the same area. And in this state of war, the Prophet ﷺ went to the Bedouins, who spied on all sides, living in the area, and he said to them, "Where is Quraysh?" And they exclaimed, "We will tell you where Quraysh is if you tell us where you are from." The Prophet ﷺ said, "I will tell you, but inform me about Quraysh." And they told him that Quraysh was in the lower part of Badr. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Nahnu min ma'." We are from water. So in a state of war, it was a form of deception. It was the truth. But he never told them exactly where they were from. By the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the believers took the high part of Badr. And that evening the rain fell, and with divine intervention, a light rain came on the believers in the high part, and made the sand solid. And a heavy rain came on the lower part and made the sand muddy. So by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the stage was set for a victory, but it needed to have strong believers, and Allah Azza wa Jal put them into a sleep. The hand of Allah is with the Jama'ah. The hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those Muslims who come together as a group to defend the truth. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, waking the believers, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asked Allah, "Oh Allah, save us. We are now standing in front of you." And he said in words, if we are not saved, if we are not able to gain victory, then how will this message spread? But what is important about this incident is that the Prophet ﷺ gave us an example of a leader who took shura, who under all circumstances recognized his followers and their qualities. And so he took shura with his followers and said, we are now in a different condition. Where do you stand? And they responded to him, Sa'd radiallahu anhu responded to him, that we will follow you anywhere, even into the ocean. And so the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the believers took their stand against disbelief. This happened in the 17th of Ramadan. Right in the middle of the month, this major confrontation took place, was known by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Yawm al-Furqan. There's that word again. It is the day of the separation of truth from falsehood. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, lined up the believers in a straight line, bunyan marsus, like a strong lead wall. And they faced this mighty army. Allah gave them strength and also strengthened their ranks with al-malaika. And it is reported that the angels were actually on the scene. And the believers were able to hold themselves and able to transform what appeared to be an imminent defeat into an overwhelming victory for Islam and the beginning of an era of strength for the believers in Medina and the foundation for the Islamic State, which would affect Muslims in all part of the world to the day of resurrection. So the believers were outnumbered, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them strong. Allah strengthened their hearts, and they took a stand, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, showed them any person who, having the right intention, and not running from the battlefield, and going forward, their life in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would enter into paradise. And so with this, the Muslims engaged the disbelievers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a great victory. And Islam was established at that point in the Battle of Badr. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Through this victory, he was able to separate the truth from falsehood. Through this victory, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enabled the believers to defend themselves and to establish Islam as a force within the Arabian Peninsula. No longer were the Muslims to be pounced upon and to be attacked as mustada'afin, as weak people in the land. But with this victory, Muslims now took their position as a force, took their position as a leading group of believers in the Arabian Peninsula. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifested many miracles with this battle. And it is reported that many of the great Sahaba even had to face their own families. They had to face people from their own tribes. But they recognized that Islam, their relationship with the Prophet, peace be upon him, is one that goes beyond race, it goes beyond color, it goes beyond language, and it goes beyond tribe. And this is a very important concept for Muslims to reflect upon in this month of Ramadan, as we are fasting, not only with believers in Mecca and Medina, we are fasting with believers in all parts of the Arabian Peninsula. in all parts of the Middle East. We are fasting with believers in America, in the South, in the Midwest. We are fasting with believers in Central America, in South America, in the Pacific, in China. There are Muslims in Korea. There are Muslims in Japan, in Indonesia, in India, in Afghanistan, all over the world, in Europe, in the capitals of Europe, all over the African continent. People are fasting and submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is through incidents such as the Battle of Badr that Muslims understand the fact, number one, that Ramadan is a time of striving. Ramadan is a time to come out of ourselves. It is a time to challenge our fears. It is a time to realize that there is one who is above us, who has power over all things. To realize that there is one who would not let us go in the face of danger. That even if we are overwhelmed, even if we are outnumbered, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of the heavens and the earth, and He has power over all things. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, following this battle, after having captured prisoners of war, gave these prisoners the opportunity to come out of a state of captivity through teaching Muslims. And this is a great lesson, that Islam does not focus on capturing people. It is not focusing on imperialistic gains, but merely it is the prayer of the believers. It is the hope of Muslims in all walks of life, in any situation, even in a state of war. It is the hope that the enemy themselves would accept Islam and that the war would end. And so through Badr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed that a small force could defeat a large force. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed that the belief in one God is not just a metaphysical thing. That al-malaika, the angels, are not just forces outside of the earth, but the angels are around us. The angels come to our protection. The angels are capable of powerful deeds in the defense of the truth. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was thankful to his Creator. He bowed down to his Lord over and over again for this great victory. And we in the month of Ramadan need to remember this day. We need to focus upon our own condition. Look at the Muslim world. Look at the struggles that we are involved in the month of Ramadan. And pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give us that strength and give us that ability to raise ourselves up and to separate truth from falsehood. I leave you with this thought. I ask Allah to have mercy on me and mercy on you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.